But right now, it is late out here in Las Vegas. It's a good night. You know, my baby's looking really good. We're going to be piecing on out. But I don't think we're going to go to sleep yet, man. I think we're just going to go on and have a good night here tonight, man. So, we're going to go on and close this video out because it's going to be fun time now. Peace out. How you guys doing, man? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. It is nighttime here in Las Vegas. I know we're having a good night, so I'm hoping everybody's having a good morning or a good afternoon wherever you are. So how you doing, babe? Everything's good? How was your day?
Good.
That's good. That's good. You know, you guys know by now that my wife is from the Philippines. And, we talk about a lot of things in the Philippines. And we also watch a lot of YouTubers talking about things in the Philippines. Especially we're gonna speak on some of those guys and some of those ladies in the Philippines that's talking to foreign men, telling them how things should be in the Philippines, what they need to look out for. Like I say, you from there, we're not trying to sell anybody anything, but I'm just gonna ask a few questions and you just tell me whether, you know, if what these people are saying is true or, if it's wrong.
Mhm.
The first one I'm really going to go on because this is a video that somebody went over and did with this young lady where she was actually saying things like when foreign men come to the Philippines to meet a Filipino woman,
Mhm.
you know he's obligated to pay for everyone in the village, the entire family, the family's friends, and the friends' friends. She said it's a tradition.
What?
Well, I'm speaking from my experience. When I went to the Philippines and I first met your parents,
Mhm.
you guys from the province originally,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to do nothing like that.
There's no such thing as obligated.
So it's not a tradition, like this individual is saying that it's a tradition that
There's
you as
no
a foreigner.
tradition like that. There's no tradition as a foreigner you are obligated to pay for everybody in the family or whatever like that. Okay.
So this is just something that she's actually saying that she probably heard from someone that this is how it should be, right?
No.
It's not a
No,
tradition.
no.
Because my next question that I was going to ask you is if it's a tradition for foreigners, is it the same thing for the Filipinos? Should they have to pay for everyone in the village, the family, the friends of the family, and everyone?
No, dear.
Got them
No,
suckers.
dear.
So that's a whole
There's no
bunch
such
of
a thing.
bull garbage.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I get it then. So now, when a lot of these guys, and I'm going to say, you are a sweet Filipino woman. You've been here in the U.S. now for a while. You have changed, but not in the ways that people think that you would change. You're still the sweet woman that I know you to be. You're very traditional. Some guys might say nurses are a bad mates to be with. I don't know where they get that stuff from, but do you think that you're not a good mate to me because you're a nurse?
I
I'm
cannot say
just
that.
I'm just asking, babe. I'm just going off from what some of these people say, and I figure, hey,
Am
who's
I?
who's the best person to ask other than my wife? You know,
Now answer the question. Am I a bad mate for you?
baby, you're a good woman. Let me tell you this: from since I met you from day one until now,
Mhm.
nothing really changed about you.
Because I'm the way I am.
You are still as sweet and still as caring as you can be. You know, and I really don't have any complaint for that. The only complaint that I really have, for you is, when you go out,
Mhm.
you don't always have to try to rush back home. You don't always have to try to tell me everywhere you are out there because, when I'm out there, I don't do that for you. I say, all right, babe, I'm here. That's it. When I'm coming home, I said, babe, I'm coming home. But you don't got to show me everything that you're doing. I mean, Why is that a cultural thing for a lot of Filipino ladies that when they're out there doing something like working or going someplace, they always feel like they have to keep their partners in check of where
Well,
they are?
mom, remember I did that in the beginning, but then you told me that I don't really have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel comfortable with that and feel confident that I don't have to do that because really, for me personally, it didn't feel good to always be like that because I feel like I'm rushed, I'm in control or something like that. But then you told me I don't have to be like that, so it stopped. So I'm more comfortable and feel free and just confident, like no issues on that. But I know that I know some that they have to do that with their husbands.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
told me about
yeah.
this one particular lady that
She gets
if
scared.
she's a little late of getting out of work, she gets nervous and
Mhm.
scared, you know, to meet her husband outside when he's waiting. But
Mhm.
that's just, I guess that's just a cultural thing because he's from the Philippines, and from what I know from some of the few guys that I work with here, I'm not saying all Filipino men are jealous. Or Filipino men are much more jealous than men from the U.S. But I do notice that I see that there's a lot of jealousy, and and Filipino men when it comes towards their wife. I get it. I understand, you know.
Mhm.
And another thing that's been actually going around on YouTube is that you know, these girls, from what they're saying,
Mhm.
that to these foreigners, when you come there, these girls are expecting for you to do everything for them,
Oh,
um, care for them,
okay. Mhm.
um, make sure that you set them up in the right setting, meaning a better place to live, and give them things that they never had before. Um, is is that a requirement, or should this be
The
something that the man just want to do on his own for that woman?
For me, yeah, that should be like that. But that's too high expectation for a woman. But it really depends on individual, on
Mm-hmm.
your how you grew up and how you think, because everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who demand so much, or their expectations are too high, or I don't know. It
Mm-hmm.
just I won't say it's demanding, or I don't know, just their expectations is different. But for me, and my friends, my close friends,
Yes.
they're kinda no, they don't like to expect much or demand because they also like
You
we
can
can
do
do
for
it for
yourself,
ourselves. We
yes.
can do.
And yes, because I did met your friends. I mean, they work for many years overseas and acquire certain things that they desire. And
Mhm.
now they're back home living a very decent and respectable life
Yeah,
with their husbands
husbands. Yeah.
and kids. So they did it the right way.
Mhm.
Work, experience first, come back home, kids. So I think that's a good thing. Now, what would you say to so many guys always keep saying that you don't want to be with a city girl, you want to be with a province girls? Even some of these guys who are going to places like Angeles City and all these other areas where you find the majority of girls who are in those places, they're coming from the
The
province.
province. Yeah, I'm about to say that.
So
Mhm.
how can they really what word I'm looking for?
How can they differentiate?
Yes, how can they differentiate, which province girls is good and which is not?
I I don't know. I'm a woman, but I think it's easy for the man if you really know what you're looking for. It's easy to tell where there this is a good girl or
Hmm.
not a good woman, a good lady or not a good lady. If
Now,
they're all even if they're in the city, because most province girls that are doing well are in the
in
city
the
too.
city, yes, they're
Yeah,
mostly province
working.
girls that's in the
Yeah.
city working, yes, because of lack of opportunity in the province. Now, another thing that I see a lot of men ending up on Rafik Tofi. I don't get it and I don't understand it. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to put in my 2 cents before you give me an answer of why.
Yeah.
I say, to me, if you're foolish enough to send money to these women without you vetting them thoroughly to make sure that they're not married or have kids, but then you make all these plans because you met them online and you probably come to the Philippines once or twice and meet them. You know, of course, they can scrub their lifestyle when you're there, meaning get rid of the boyfriends, get rid of the kids, so you don't see them. Um, would you consider these women to be scammers, or would you say that the males who find themselves in that situation, sending all that money over to the Philippines to these women to build homes and open up business like Sari Store and those type of things? I mean, would you say that these women are scammers?
So my take on that is, life in the Philippines are hard. So
Hmm.
people will do whatever they can think of doing. So
To
it's
make
up
it.
for, yeah, to make it. So it's up to the, I don't know if you can call them victims, but
Hmm.
it's up for the victims to get full onto that. Because why will you do that if you're in your right mind? You're a responsible person for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Why
That is so true.
I won't call them
Because I
scammers.
think the majority of these men, they
There's a
won't do that in their own country. They won't get suckered that easily in their own country. Um, but to see that these men who built, the little bit of wealth that they have, and just get so caught up into these, girls online because of, how they look, the things they say. I mean, all their common sense just went out the window. And I really can't blame these girls. Um, there's a YouTuber, a very, very small YouTuber, and I can call his name. It's Our Filipino Journey. It's a gentleman live in Angeles City. He's an older gentleman. I tend to watch a lot of his videos. But the last video that I watched with him, he was given an explanation of you can't judge a lot of these women for doing the things that they're doing.
Mhm.
Remember, these women are coming from homes where there's really nothing.
Mhm.
They have anything. Some of them are going to school to educate
Mhm.
themselves,
Mhm.
but in the evenings or on the weekends, he said these girls would be going out there, going into the clubs,
Mhm.
the high end clubs. Where you find a lot of younger men.
Just turn it up. Hold
Where you'll find a lot of younger men, and they just want to be out there just to make ends meet. They don't want to be bar fined. Because a lot of those girls, they don't want to be bar fined. They just want to find a way of making extra money so they can support themselves through school. Now, I remember you was telling me stories of some of these same girls that you were in school with.
Mhm.
Some of the things that they used to do.
Mhm.
Um, do you want to elaborate on that again, and say some of the things that these girls used to do? It's not really nothing bad. You got to do what
No.
you got to do.
Yes. Um. So you what is this? Uh, a dreamer, or you want to fulfill something for yourself. So it's very hard because the Philippines is not like here in America that you can be working much and then just select your hours for schooling like that.
Hmm.
So it's different. So, but yeah,
And also take out student loans here.
yes, they got. Oh, yeah. There's a student loans here in the Philippines. There's nothing like that. But there are some girls that those are the ways that maybe it's easier for them to do those ways to
Hmm.
support themselves. But yeah, I know some in the school before where I went to school that what is that? They're well supported by whoever they go with at night, even what is that? Politicians, not just foreigners.
So they go
Yes.
where they can actually get the extra help
Mhm.
to get them through school.
Yes.
And now you're saying that a lot of those girls that you went to school with now, are doing well.
Oh yeah, they
They,
finish.
they make the sacrifice,
That's the
do what they have
sacrifice.
to do,
Uh-huh.
and I don't really have a problem with that because, I made a video the other day about where I came from, but I never really got into detail.
Mm-hmm.
I told you everything about, my life, my family life. You
Mm-hmm.
know that. So I do understand, a lot of these women have to do what they have to do, especially if they have kids. You need to take care of your kids. And also, if you have families at home who are relying on you, you have to do what you have to do. So I really don't knock him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when I first met you, and I used to make jokes and say, I don't care what you used to affect it. It don't matter to me. So just used to joke with you. But seriously, I think what he said make a lot of sense. I know a lot of people, who have never been there or never lived in that situation before. They like to judge.
No judgment.
They like to pass judgment on to these women, and that's one thing that I don't do. They won't be my choice of woman to want to be with, but until you walk a mile in somebody's shoe, man, don't judge.
But at least what I can say for those women who does that, it's not just for convenience.
Hmm.
It's because they want to achieve something, but they cannot
Yeah,
support themselves for that.
and
Yes.
we know a few of them here in Las Vegas who are doing well.
Mhm.
Have their house, have their
Uh,
cars, good career,
mm-hmm.
but they did what they had to do to make it. So no judgment. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. Got to do what you got to do. Now, what do you think about all these YouTubers? And I'm going to more stick with the Filipino YouTubers because you're a Filipino woman. You know, a lot of the advice that they're giving to these guys, and a lot of them tend to regurgitate the same garbage about different position. How a Filipino woman like to have sex in bed, and that type of stuff. I mean, who do you think is eating up that type of information that they keep spewing out there? What type of men do you think they're trying to reach?
Maybe the foreigners? Is
We
it?
talking about younger or older foreigners?
Oh. If there's how can you say
Could
that
be
for us or
anybody, right?
anybody? Yes.
She's trying to be correct here
Yeah.
in her politics. But for me, I would say I think they're gearing it to more towards a lot of older men. I think a lot of their subscribers, a lot of older men, have a lot of young men in between. Because I think, to me, people who would sit down and listen to that stuff and get excited are men who probably haven't smelled the punani in a long time, or don't ever think they'll ever get the punani here in America. I'm speaking for America here. So when these girls tell them these stories, they get perked up because they're thinking that they can actually go on over there now and fulfill all the fantasies that they have in their head. So I think these girls are kind of
They're smart.
gearing towards these men. Yeah, they're very smart. They're doing well. The channel is growing because they know what they're saying. They know who to talk to. They figure, okay, I know who my demographic is. I know what my demographic is about. So let me just go ahead and tell them all these wonderful stuff so they can keep coming back to my channel. Not gonna knock them for that. But for me, at my age, and knowing me, I never had a problem with women anyway. Not even here in America. Hell, I'm right here next to you anyway. So I know how to talk. But that kind of stuff wouldn't be sold to me because I would like, come on, man. Because the way they're actually talking, a lot of them are talking like all of the women in the Philippines are the same. They said, what does Filipino women like? How does Filipino women like this? Philippines is big. You got city women, medium city women, province women, deep country women. They all are not the same, So
True.
I think it's just they're giving a generalization of what Filipinos women are. And, of course, a lot of these men, they really don't know it. and they believe it. So when they get there and they find out that the stories has been told to them, they get all upset. You know, they get all upset.
It's just story to
You know?
excite them.
Yeah, and I get it. So my whole thing is to you. I mean, do you have a problem with all of that?
Wow. Of that issue. Oh,
What these ladies are trying to sell? Yeah.
because it's being generalized, so
But I'm
it's not
saying, does it
real.
make you
It's
feel?
real
Does it
what
make you
they're doing.
feel?
What they're doing.
Does it make you feel a funny way knowing that you're a Filipino woman and most of the things they're saying does not pertain to you?
Not really. I don't care. I don't care much because I know that if you're smart, then you will understand that all they're saying don't apply to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yes.
just,
But there are
just,
some that can be upsetting because embarrassing, but
yeah, yeah. And sometimes when I read a lot of the comments, I can tell who's an old man and who's a younger man. You know, I mean, it's always, oh, you're so inspirational, or you're so positive. Thank you for sharing these information for me. There's never a question about, well, you know, you say this. Maybe I need to question you about this. They never come back with a question. It's always like, thank you for sharing. Thank you for this. There's a word that these guys call these men, simps, that they believe everything that these women say. I'm just saying, babe. I mean, I just want to know how you feel and what you think about these things. Um, but last thing I'm going to go ahead and touch on. Now, there's this new controversy bubbling up again on YouTube, and it's about this one particular guy. I think they ain't going to say his name, but they gave him a nickname and called him the Frog Dude. So now he's back in the Philippines again after being out for a long time. He's back again, and a lot of his old teaching videos that he used to have on his Patreon account. People start releasing those videos again about how you can get a Filipino woman to do what you want, how you can teach a Filipino woman how to be in bed, and how you can meet a bad or a good Filipino woman. My favorite one back in the day when I used to watch it, just go down to the Mercado, just buy you some bananas. What do you feel about those type of men in the Philippines selling that type of garbage that they're selling to these simps out here? I mean, it's your country; they're your people.
I don't know what to say on that. Sometimes it's just upsetting though because that's how they're cheap kind of men to me.
You say that one again, babe.
Cheap.
They were cheap kind of men. Yes, you said it right. A lot of these guys going in there with their simple little budget and the kind of girls that they surround themselves with, would jump at their beck and call because, they're going for the girls, what some people would call the low level type girls, who don't have much. And you come around, you put them into the nice apartment you're staying in, you're able to give them brand new phone with a lot of loads. They can have all the Netflix they want to watch. You can take them to the mall as much as they want. I don't know how much they're really going to be spending on them. Or you could take them to these day resort where they can take the pictures and videos and post it on their Instagram. This is something these girls never had before. Now, knowing you and your girlfriends, and and I see your girlfriend post all the time out there in Bohol, the places that she go to every day. She and her husband. I know most foreigners can't afford to do what she does. Do you think those type of women would be impressed with these guys?
Of course not.
It would be the low level type girls who really have nothing, right?
That's why I think that's why those are the kind of girls they go for because those are the kind of girls that they can just impress and
manipulate very easily. Okay, but do you want these type of men in your country corrupting these young girls the way they're corrupting them?
I wish the Philippines can be more stricter on those kind.
Yeah, and of course, you have a lot of good people in the Philippines who are seeing what's happening now, and is working hard to try to get a lot of people, lot of these men out of the Philippines, which and I think it's well deserving, because they don't need to be there.
Because it's sad because these girls that they I call these girls a victim. I don't know if it can be a victim or not. It's
Hmm.
just because of the poverty, and the
Yeah,
kind of lives that they're living, and they get manipulated easily for these
easily.
little things. They think,
Yes,
but I don't know if they understand their value in this men's
they don't understand the value
mindset.
that they have,
I know.
um, and
And how these
they're
men look
settling.
at,
Yes,
yeah,
they're
look
settling
at them.
for little or nothing because you really look at a lot of these guys who are really there. We've seen how many girls they've been in and out of,
Yes.
you know. And the new trend now is to get with those girls, give them a YouTube channel, and say, "I'm doing something for you." My thing is, if you really care for these girls and you're moving these girls in and you claim that you love these girls,
Help them to go to school.
help them to, yes, I always said that to you. Help them to go to school to better themselves
So,
because,
yes,
that YouTube thing is not going to last that long.
you won't be
And
there forever for them.
there's always going to be a younger girl coming up behind them, So that's just my opinion, but they're not really obligated to do it.
Yeah,
But
true.
if you say you really care for these girls and the way you talk about them, that they mean so much to you, you're moving them into your home and you're living with them for years, do the right thing, man. Send them to school, get them educated, you know. That's just what I really wanted to say there. But
But you gonna
go on.
nothing,
No, go
nothing,
on.
nothing,
Say what
nothing.
you're gonna say.
No, send him to school, but then you're gonna ask people to help them send their
Oh
girlfriend to
yeah, like
school.
that dude during the pandemic. He had his girl. Well, he's not with her anymore. I
I know
mean,
that. Oh
he
yeah.
wanted people to say, "Hey, if you guys want to send my girlfriend to school, please donate." So he himself didn't even have enough money to send her to school.
We're
He
just not willing
he
to.
wanted his audience
Mhm.
to pay for the girl to go to school. It's just amazing, and them girls don't even see through that stuff. They really don't see through that. But some of them do wise up after a while, though.
Yeah.
They do wise up after a while. One of the most famous thing that I heard from one of them girls was she said her partner told her that if you're a woman that's 30 and you're not married, you're a leftover. You're leftover food. Well, I wonder how she feels now
Just left over
because she's
because
almost leftover food. You know. So these men are going
oh
in there
my
and they're
god.
manipulating these girls' mind, influencing these girls' mind in certain way. And here these girls thinking that they're special. But in the end, the same thing that they're telling you about other women, you are that woman now, you know? So, but we just wanted to just talk, and I just want to get your opinion on those few things. There's so much more that we can actually talk about, but I just want to see how you really feel about those few things there. So, but nothing else to add to that.
No, just whatever. It, I don't know. It cannot be controlled. It is what it is. But
It
yeah,
is what
if
it is.
yes,
Yeah.
just
And,
for people to be smart though.
and when I was in the Navy and I was out in Subic, we call it Subic. Some people like to break it down and say Langnapo. For us
Mhm.
military guys, it's Subic, you know. So when we were out there, um, one good thing with me and the ship that I was on, there was a lot of old heads. So before we went there, they kind of explained to us, they educate us, let us know, hey man, these girls that you're going to be seeing, they're very good, meaning the bar girls, they're going to be very good. You're going to be in the bar, you might be sweating. They're going to take a wet rag, they're going to be wiping you down. They're going to ask you for everything you want. They're going to treat you as if you're the king. But he said, man, don't bite that bullet because it's a job. They're doing a job to try to get you to the point of where you said, man, you know, when I go back to America, I don't think I can have an American woman, man. I better go back over there and marry one of these bar girls, man.
Yes.
So, we were kind of taught on that. We were well trained. And, a few guys on my ship went and did that. It was the biggest mistake they ever made because, those relationships didn't even last 6 months. And, back then there was no 9/11. So it was a lot easier for people to get their papers back then, you know?
Oh.
One guy was from Minnesota, not going to call him any name. After the girl got her papers, I think within 3 to 4 months,
She
when
left him?
she came to Long Beach, She hooked up with some friends and family in San Diego, and she was gone, man.
That's sad.
You know, not saying it happened to everybody, but it's just never a
Yes.
good thing to do. You don't want to marry those ball girls,
I think.
you know, but still, you don't want to marry those ball girls. Okay. There has been a lot of Jimmys in and out of those girls, you know, so I'm just saying. But anyway, man, you know, we're just sitting out here having a conversation with my wife. These are many conversations that we have. We talk about different cultures, you know. Sorry, fellas, we just lost the mic there. So I'm just going to go on and speak over, you know, the ending of this video here. Like, you know, like we said, you know, we have a lot of conversation like this every night. You know, me and my wife, we do a lot of talking. You know, that's one good thing I can say about us. But, you know, right now, it is late out here in Las Vegas. It's a good night. You know, my baby's looking really good. We're going to be piecing on out. But I don't think we're going to go to sleep yet, man. I think we're just going to go on and have a good night here tonight, man. So, you know, we're going to go on and close this video out because it's going to be fun time now. Peace out.